Okay, beta. So we will start. So good afternoon, all of you.
Yes, good afternoon.
So we are going to discuss kidney today. Okay. So from this picture, if you observe, so like all the abdominal visceral organs have been removed. That means now we are in the posterior abdominal wall. So liver has been removed, isn't it? Stomach has been removed. Spleen is intact. Okay. The celiac trunk branches, splenic artery looks intact. That means the visceral organs like small intestine, large intestine, stomach, and liver, isn't it? There it has pancreas. It has been removed in order to see the posterior abdominal wall. Now, what are we finding in the posterior abdominal wall? See this dome-shaped muscle. Whatever we are finding here is diaphragm. Okay. So then you have like openings in the diaphragm. Can you observe? This is the inferior vena cava opening.
Inferior
This is
vena
the
cava, abdominal aorta.
very good, abdominal aorta. Okay, we are finding here. Then after removing major abdominal visceral organs, now we are able to see two kidneys, isn't it? So and this is the hilum of the kidney. Okay. Now in the posterior abdominal wall, are you able to see these muscles? Let's name them. Yesterday I asked you to remember one code. P. Very good. P.
Psoas major.
Huh. Psoas major,
Or
quadratus lumborum, and transversus.
lumborum.
And transversus abdominis. So in the posterior abdominal wall, you are finding psoas major, P, Q, T. These are the three muscles which we have been talking about till now. Okay. Psoas major, quadratus lumborum, and the transversus abdominis. Okay. So that is now. So by the end of the lecture, we should be able to describe the anatomical features of kidney. We will see the position, extent, relations, hilum and peritoneal coverings. We will see the internal structure, cortex medulla and renal sinus. We will see the vascular segments of kidney, blood supply and lymphatics of the kidney. Okay. Now, coming to the kidney, kidney is a pair of bean-shaped organ which is located against posterior abdominal wall and it is behind the peritoneum. Because it is behind the peritoneum, what is the word we use? Retroperitoneal. Okay, retroperitoneal. Now coming to, if you remember testis, I told you testis also like it has upper pole, lower pole. Similarly, it also, if you see, it has upper pole, lower pole, and this border is near to the midline. You call it as medial border. This border is away from midline. You call it as lateral border. And the surface which you see from the anterior aspect is anterior surface and the surface which you see from behind will be the posterior surface. So it has two surfaces, two ends and two borders. Then this is the long axis. This is the long axis of the kidney, okay, which is directed downwards laterally. So that means downwards laterally means the direction is little like this, because of which the upper pole of the kidney comes near to the midline. Okay, though in this picture it is not so clear, but in the body you will see the upper pole is close to the midline when you compare to the lower pole. Lower pole is away from the midline. Okay, now when you just count the vertebra level, you can see it is extending from T12, L1, L2 and almost up to 3. Okay, T12 to L3 is the extent of the kidney. Okay, now see this is the right kidney, because we know right side we have liver which has been removed. This is left kidney, isn't it? So left kidney looks nearer to the midline and to the diaphragm than the right kidney. Okay, so this is the medial border which is concave, and the concavity which is presented here is actually called as hilum. For spleen also we have used this sentence only, hilum, isn't it? That is. Now, so kidney is like from schooling onwards we have been studying like kidney is bean shaped, isn't it? So the weight of kidney in females is 135 grams and in males it is 150 grams. Okay, this is upper pole of the kidney. This is lower pole of the kidney. The surface what is seen from the anterior aspect is anterior surface, and the surface which is seen from behind will be posterior. What is the name of this border which I have already named?
Anti.
Hilum.
No, hilum, of course, but it
Border.
is border.
Medial.
Border.
Medial
Very
border.
good. Medial border.
Medial border.
What is the name of this border?
Lateral border.
Lateral border. So it has two borders, medial and lateral. Okay. Now already I told you this is the long axis. Okay. So which is directed downwards and laterally. Okay. That's why you see the upper end is coming near to the vertebral column. That is what is called as axis of kidney. Okay. Then, so coming to that was the vertical axis. Now, if you observe the transverse axis, so you see here, this is the transverse axis, which is like, you remember we had transpyloric plane? Okay,
Yes,
the transpyloric plane is passing through the upper part of the hilum of the right kidney and lower part of the hilum of the left kidney. Because left kidney is little higher, I said, position. Right kidney is little lower. Okay, so this is the horizontal or the transverse axis of the kidney. When you just cut it at the hilum level, we will see the transpyloric plane passes through upper part of the hilum of right, which is corresponding to the lower part of the hilum of the left kidney. Okay, is this clear?
Yes. Yes.
Now, like we had factors keeping the liver in position. I told you hepatic veins, abdominal, visceral organs and all. Similarly, kidneys are also kept in position by the pressure exerted by the neighboring visceral organs and tone of abdominal muscles. What are the abdominal muscles we have? External oblique,
External oblique, internal oblique.
internal oblique.
Transverse
transversus
abdominis.
abdominis,
Transverse
rectus abdominis. That is in the anterior abdominal wall. Posterior abdominal wall, just now you saw PQT.
Psoas major. Achha.
psoas
So,
major.
Psoas major, quadratus lumborum, transverse abdominis.
very good. Psoas major, like quadratus lumborum and transversus abdominis. So all these muscles will keep the kidney in position, and of course we will find lot of fat. Actually, renal fascia and distribution of fat is very important. As such, kidney is also an essay question. Okay, but this renal fascia itself can come as 5 marks. We will elaborate. Okay, in the pedicels of the kidney, that means the place where we have the hilum, the entry and exit of the structures. All these features will help the kidney to maintain its position. Okay, so this is, where is it present? In the posterior abdominal wall. What is the name of this muscle?
Diaphragm.
Extend.
Diaphragm. This is diaphragm. What is the name of this muscle? Same.
Psoas major.
Psoas
major.
major. Okay, what is the name of this muscle? Quadratus lumborum.
Quadratum lumborum.
This muscle?
Transverse.
Transversus abdominis. Psoas major, quadratus lumborum and transversus abdominis. Then this is the iliac bone, isn't it? And here you have the iliac fossa. So the name of this muscle is iliacus. Okay, iliacus and psoas major together. What is the name of this structure?
Inguinal ligament.
Very good.
Inguinal ligament.
Inguinal ligament. Very good. Okay. So you should know the orientation of the things, then it becomes very easy. So kidneys are retroperitoneal. What is the meaning? I told you retroperitoneal. Behind the
No peritoneum behind.
behind the peritoneum. So each kidney is lying lateral to the vertebral column in the posterior abdominal wall, okay, which is under the cover of ribs. Okay. So in supine position, it is extending approximately, this we have seen already, T12 to L3. The right kidney, this is also over beta. I told you it's slightly lower than the left kidney because of the large size of the right lobe of the liver. Because of the liver, its position is pushed down. Okay. With respiration and contraction of diaphragm, both kidneys move downwards in vertical direction. They come down at least 1 inch. That is 2.5 centimeters. Okay. Now, what is the color you are finding? They are reddish brown when you see in the dissection hall. Okay, bean shaped organs. Now let us see the dimension. 12 into 6 into 3, that means what? 12 centimeters in length, 6 centimeters in width, 3 centimeters in thickness. Okay, 12 into 6 into 3. The weight in males is 150 to 170 grams. Okay, and females it is little less, 130 to 150 grams. Okay, okay, then so the left kidney is usually, you will see in the cadaver beta, left kidney will be longer and slender. It is thin and long when you compare with the right kidney. Okay, so right kidney, and actually it is nearer to the midline, the left one. So each kidney, it has upper and lower end convex lateral border. Then medial border is little like vertical, and it has an opening. This opening in this vertical border is actually called as hilum. Okay. So what do we find in the hilum? You are finding three
Renal artery, renal veins.
and,
Renal.
and what can be this which is going down?
Ureter.
Very
Ureter.
good. Excellent. Very good. Okay, the hilum, as you already told you told me, like we have three structures. That is, the hilum transmits the following structures from anterior to posterior. Okay, so that is anteriorly we have vein, behind the vein we have artery, and behind that we have pelvis of the ureter. We can, you remember, like VAP, VAP, pelvis. In textbook is given as VAP. Okay, so when individual kidney is given in your hand, then also you should be able to identify whether it is right kidney or left kidney. How do we identify? By looking at the structures in the hilum. Okay, the anterior most will be VAP, you remember, VA, pelvis of the ureter, VAP. Okay, vein first, artery in the middle, and pelvis of the ureter behind. Okay, apart from that, everywhere in the hilum we will have lymph vessels, okay, sympathetic fibers. Okay, the renal sinus, this I will show and explain you. I told you the starting point of the ureter is actually called as the renal pelvis. Will be little expanded, which is called as renal sinus. We will see with the help of diagram. We will actually, this diagram was better in the previous one. Can you see the ureter? This is the ureter, but the starting point of the ureter is actually highly expanded, and this area is actually called as renal pelvis. Okay, and this is actually kept in this passage, which is very much empty and expanded to accommodate the pelvis, that is the renal sinus. Okay, so that is the last point, which is told here. Okay, renal sinus contains upper expanded part, okay, of the ureter, which is called as renal pelvis. Okay, then now you see here, of course, in this picture, though it is not found around the kidney, lot of fat will be there, okay, which is the perinephric fat, and it is continuing in the hilum, and it is surrounding all the structures. Okay, now see, coverings of the kidney is very, very, very important. Okay, apart from till now, whatever we have discussed were simple things, like I told you, the kidney has upper pole, lower pole, medial border, lateral border, anterior surface, posterior surface, hilum, VAP structures, anterior to posterior. But coverings of kidney is something what you have to understand very clearly. Okay, because it itself can come as 5 marks question, and it may take time also for you to understand. I will also go very slowly. Now, if you observe this picture, immediately covering the kidney, are you finding there is one fascia which has been cut and which has been lifted, isn't it? So that is actually called as fibrous capsule. Okay, what is the name of this thing? Fibrous capsule, which is closely applied to the surface of kidney. Okay, now surrounding this, suppose now see here, we should understand the layout of this picture. In the layout of this picture, actually, we have taken this picture like at the lumbar vertebra, okay, and see, this is the peritoneal covering of the kidney, which is moving like this. Because I told you kidneys are retroperitoneal organs, isn't it? So whole of this area is actually peritoneum. Okay, let us get oriented first. What is the name of this blood vessel? Abdominal aorta. What is the name of this blood vessel? Adjacent to it,
Inferior.
Inferior vena cava.
inferior vena cava. We know this area. What is the name of this area?
Hilum.
Hilum.
Hilum. In the hilum, what are the structures we find?
Inferior vena
vein.
cava, abdominal aorta, and splenic arteries. Which is renal arteries.
No. Renal
Hilum.
artery, vein, and ureter.
Okay, Hansraj, you tell me. Hilum, tell me in order. Anterior to posterior.
हाँ मैम.
Hilum structures.
Renal vein,
Mm.
renal artery, and ureter.
Very good. Renal vein, renal artery, and ureter. What is the starting point of ureter called as? Pelvis.
Pelvis.
Pelvis,
Renal.
ma'am.
Pelvis of the ureter. Okay. So this is nothing but hilum. Okay. Back. Vein, artery, and pelvis. Okay. Now see this
Ma'am.
Yes.
हाइलम हर जगह नेम क्यों देते हैं मैम?
हाइलम यानी सेम बेटा पोर्टा हेपेटिस में एंट्री एग्जिट का जो भी एरिया होता है ना बेटा, उसका हाइलम का मीनिंग वही है. स्ट्रक्चर्स अंदर जा रहे या फिर बाहर आ रहे. अब ये यूरेटर बाहर आ रहा है ना, रीनल वेन भी बाहर आ रहे और रीनल आर्टरी जो है अंदर जा रही डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के लिए. तो जहाँ पे भी स्ट्रक्चर्स अंदर जा रहे या फिर बाहर आ रहे, वी यूजुअली यूज द वर्ड आइदर पोर्टा और हाइलम. स्प्लीन में भी हाइलम ही यूज हुआ था, है ना. तो देखो ये किडनी इमीडिएटली सराउंडिंग दिस इज फाइब्रस कैप्सूल. दैट मींस दिस ब्लैक लाइन व्हिच इज सराउंडिंग द किडनी इज द फाइब्रस कैप्सूल. Now surrounding this kidney, are you finding fat? Yes. Yellow. Okay, this is nothing but perirenal fat. Okay, this is actually covering. That means outside this fibrous capsule, we will have this fat. That's why you call this fat as perirenal fat. Okay. Of course, still lot of explanation is there in iron chaurasia. It is highly confusing, but this particular part you read from my PowerPoint only because I have prepared it from Datta. Okay, very clear explanation is here. Okay, then and of course in Vishram Singh it has been condensed too much. Very short it has become. At least this particular part I want you to read from my PowerPoint. Okay, then we have renal fascia. See here, are you finding this whitish line? Yes. Outside the perirenal fat, this white line is found. That is nothing but perirenal fascia. I will expand still more, which is the condensation of connective tissue that lies outside to the perirenal fat. Okay, and it is actually enclosing kidney. We will see in the other view also. This is transfer section. We will see the mid-sagittal section of the body to understand the superior and inferior extent of this renal fascia. Okay. Now, surrounding this renal fascia, you will not understand now it is enclosing suprarenal. The other picture will help us to understand. Now, surrounding this renal fascia, are you finding further fat outside? Are you finding? Okay. So, this fat, where that means kidney is like we also sleep on cushions and beds, isn't it? Similarly, kidney is also well protected. Everywhere, so much of fatty tissue is surrounding it, which is acting as cushion and which is protecting the kidney. In our textbooks, it's given like too much of dieting is also not fair because people who think about too much zero size, what happens? Even this perirenal fat and pararenal fat will dissolve and kidney will not have any support and the kidney will sink in the pelvic cavity. You know, no, two hip bones and sacrum supported behind, that is pelvis. Okay, that like this, it may slip down if the supports are not there. Okay. So that is few heroines like they died also, no, with like they did so much of dieting, which is of course not so fair. Okay, so that means these last three structures, the perirenal fat, the renal fascia, and the pararenal fat, these three structures are actually supporting the kidney and helping to keep the kidney in position. Okay, now let us describe each in detail. Though this is, if it is 3 marks question, you can just draw this diagram and give these points, that is enough. But if it is 5 marks question or if it is essay, usually in the essay again coverings of kidney usually will be asked to elaborate. So you will see the outermost covering is fibrous capsule. It is formed by the condensation of fibrous stroma of the kidney. Okay, that means the connective tissue of the kidney itself is condensing to form the capsule. Okay, in case of healthy kidney, okay, So you can just easily strip off this layer. Okay. Then nephropexy, movable kidney divides like that means see movable kidney divides fibrous capsule and suture it to the last step. This I will show you with the help of pictures but in applied aspects. Now you will not understand. We are just tying this fibrous capsule to the last strip to maintain the position of kidney because here lot of fat is lost due to dieting. So we just suture it to the last strip, okay, so that kidney's position is maintained, okay, where the other supports are very weak, okay. So decapsulation is done to relieve congestion. Suppose in case of renal failure cases, you will see there will be a lot of edema in the kidney, lot of fluid accumulation. So in such cases, we just remove this capsule so that there should not be any area where fluid can accumulate. Okay, is it clear better? Water is being accumulated and kidney is unable to function properly, remove this capsule. Normal healthy kidney capsule can be easily stripped out, isn't it? So that procedure is called decapsulation, okay, to relieve congestion and edema of kidney. Okay, now second layer after this fibrous capsule, now you are coming to this fat. Green arrow I put for our better understanding. All this fat around the kidney cushion. So this is perirenal fat. It occupies the interval between the fibrous capsule, okay, and this white line. What is the name of this white line? I told you. Renal fascia.
Perirenal fascia.
Yeah, renal fascia. Okay. So between the fibrous, between the black line and white line, better, roughly speaking, between the black line covering the kidney, between the white line, whatever fat is there, that is, to be more specific, between the fibrous capsule and the renal fascia, whatever fat we are finding, that is nothing but perirenal fat. And fat is abundantly present here. When you do dissection, you will see this. Okay. Now, we have renal, perirenal fascia. This one, white line. So perirenal fascia is formed by the condensation of extraperitoneal connective tissue that is surrounding the kidney. Now, if you observe this perirenal fascia, what are these? Do you remember we have skin, superficial fascia, no, fatty layer, membranous layer. What are these three muscles? Anterior
External
abdominal.
oblique.
Ha.
External oblique. Internal oblique transverse subdominal.
Below that, you remember we have fascia transversalis.
Yes. Yes.
So see here, this fascia, the perirenal fascia, is it not becoming continuous with fascia transversalis? Yes, perirenal fascia becomes continuous laterally with fascia transversalis. So this perirenal fascia, if you trace from fascia transversalis, if you think fascia transversalis is splitting now to become the perirenal fascia, how many layers it has? The one which is moving anteriorly, you call it as anterior layer. The one which is behind the kidney, you call it as posterior layer. Is it clear? The anterior layer is given a special name, you call it as fascia of Tolt. And the posterior layer is given another special name which is called as fascia of Zuckerkindl. Okay, fascia of Tolt and fascia of Zuckerkindl. Okay, so these are the two layers. Okay, now see here. Now laterally, already we have traced. Lokesh, the anterior layer, Tolt, and posterior layer, Zuckerkindl. Both of them are fusing laterally to become continuous as which fascia? Only Lokesh should answer, please. Anterior layer and posterior layer of the renal fascia is laterally fusing to form which fascia? Meghana? Which fascia are we finding beta here? Ansraj?
Fascia transversalis.
Very good. Fascia
Transversalis.
transversalis. Okay. Fascia transversalis. Please, are you understanding? Everybody is able to keep the pace what I am going with? Lokesh. Lokesh, you are not answering, beta. Please pay attention. Please. What is this? Anterior layer of the renal fascia. What is this? Posterior layer. Laterally, both the layers are fusing to and becoming continuous with which fascia?
Fascia transversalis.
Fascia transversalis. Okay. Now please pay attention. This is the only tough part of kidney. Rest is all easy. Okay. Now see, this is medially. Now this is the hilum. Do you agree, Lokesh? Okay. So towards the hilum, that means this is the midline. This is the medial end. This is the lateral end. So now you are tracing this anterior layer medially. And is it covering the great vessels?
Yes.
The inferior vena cava and the abdominal aorta. Similarly, you will have another kidney that side. So this fascia, the anterior layer of the renal fascia, becomes continuous with the renal fascia of the opposite kidney. Okay, only half of the picture is shown here. Okay, that is medially the anterior layer is covering the renal vessels, inferior vena cava, aorta, and it is becoming continuous with the similar layer of the, suppose if it is right kidney, the similar layer of the left kidney. Lokesh, understanding better? Okay, posterior layer. Now see here, posterior layer, if you observe, now these are the muscles what we see which are very closely attached to the posterior abdominal wall. What are the posterior abdominal wall muscles I told you?
Psoas major,
Psoas
quadratus
major.
lumborum.
Psoas major, quadratus lumborum, and transversus abdominis. Very good. So that means posteriorly the layer is going like anterior to the muscles what Lokesh has named, psoas major and quadratus lumborum. Okay, and then it is again becoming continuous with the posterior layer of opposite kidney. Okay, that is the tracing of renal fascia. As you already told me, this was our anterior layer and this is our posterior layer. I told before projecting slides so that you have to use your brain. So posterior layer covers the back of the kidney and it is going back to the renal vessels. It is blending with the fascia which is covering the psoas. Okay, and then it is becoming continuous. It is attached to the lumbar vertebra, isn't it? Yes, Lokesh.
Yes, ma'am.
This part you should be very thorough, but rest is you will easily understand. Okay, now let us trace the renal fascia. This is the sagittal section. This way we have cut the body. Okay, we have cut in this direction. Okay, so in this direction, so you are finding behind the liver we have kidney. You remember, right kidney lies behind the right lobe of the liver. Okay, this is the transverse colon, right? That means right colic flexion. Always we should get orientation of the picture. This is right lung. No? This is partition diaphragm. This is postodiaphragmatic recess. These are the ribs. No? 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th ribs like that. Now see that same renal fascia. Suppose this is the layers, like the two layers, anterior and posterior layer. If you trace them upwards, it is actually splitting at the upper pole to enclose this gland. What is the name of this gland above the upper pole of the kidney?
Suprarenal.
Suprarenal gland. Suprarenal gland. So the anterior and posterior layers at the upper pole of the kidney, they split and they enclose the suprarenal gland and they become continuous under this muscle. What is the name of this muscle? Diaphragm. Okay, they are fusing and they are taking the attachment on the under surface of the diaphragm as suspensory ligament. It gets attached as though it is suspending the suprarenal gland and kidney. Okay, that is the suspensory ligament of kidney. Now, whatever I have explained is written here, beta. Above, the anterior and posterior, this is the anterior layer, this is the posterior layer, are fusing at the upper pole and then they are re-splitting to enclose the suprarenal gland. Okay, so they again fuse back below the diaphragm. That means under surface of the diaphragm. Okay, they become continuous with the subdiaphragmatic fascia and they form suspensory ligament of suprarenal gland. Suspensory ligament of suprarenal gland. Okay, you read slowly, nicely, then you will understand everything. Okay, then you see below. Again, this is our anterior layer of renal fascia. This is posterior layer of renal fascia. Below, two layers, they are actually not fusing. They are just extending downwards. Okay, here we will have ureter. They will move along the ureter. They are just disappearing. They are lost in the extraperitoneal connective tissue and iliac fossa. Okay, it goes down till the ilium bone. Okay, they are not fusing or enclosing anything. Okay, they are just disappearing. Okay, that is about renal fascia. Okay, the last one is very, very, very easy. No, the outside fat. Outside to the renal fascia, whatever fat is there, that is paranephric fat. It is located in between the renal fascia and the anterior layer of thoracolumbar fascia. This we will study. Here you will get the thoracolumbar fascia, this black line. See, this is our renal fascia. I am showing both now. Between the renal fascia and thoracolumbar fascia, whatever outside fat is there, previous picture was much better, no? Whatever outside fat is there, that is paranephric fat. Paranephric fat. Okay, before I take you to the relations, I just really want to revise this because this is very, very important. I would like to check your understanding. What are the various coverings? Lokesh, what is the first covering we had? Fibrous capsule. Please keep on. It is very loosely attached, no? It can be easily stripped off. That is the fibrous capsule. What is this outside fat you have?
Perirenal fat.
Very good. Perirenal fat. Okay. Then what is the name of this fascia?
Renal fascia.
Renal fascia. Can you tell me the renal fascia is becoming continuous with which fascia laterally? This white
Anterior.
just wait, Ritika. Ritika, please wait. Huh? Because already I explained, no?
Yes.
Please, I'm just checking beta so that everybody should understand. No? So, Lokesh, please answer beta. So the anterior layer and the posterior layer of renal fascia, they are becoming continuous with which fascia?
Transversalis fascia.
Very good.
Fascia transversal.
Very good. Fascia transversalis. Excellent. Okay. Can you tell me the anterior layer is covering which structures?
Inferior vena cava. Abdominal aorta. Hilum.
Excellent. Structures in the hilum. Renal vessels. Very good. Okay. So this is horizontal tracing and it becomes continuous with the same layer of the opposite kidney. పక్కకి కూడా సేమ్ కిడ్నీ ఉంటుంది కదా బట్ ఇక్కడ ఈ టూ లేయర్స్ కంటిన్యూస్ అయిపోతాయి. ఓకే నెక్స్ట్ దిస్ ఈస్ posterior layer. Posterior layer is seen behind. It is merging with which fascia beta muscle? Psoas major. Okay, and then it is
quadratus lumborum.
Okay, quadratus lumborum. But it merges with the fascia of psoas major and then it becomes, what is this structure, Lokesh? Identify.
Body of.
What is this structure? But I gave you the orientation of picture before starting. Lumbar vertebra. This is vertebra. Even if you don't say lumbar, at least it is vertebra, no? Is it looking like vertebra or not?
Yes.
So it is like continuous with the psoas fascia and the lumbar vertebra. Okay. So all these supports. Now superiorly, Abhinav, superiorly the renal fascia is fusing at the upper pole, no? And it is splitting above to enclose this structure.
Suprarenal gland.
Excellent, beta. Suprarenal gland. Then it is becoming continuous and getting attached to the inferior aspect of the diaphragm as suspensory ligament, isn't it? Inferiorly, inferiorly, it is just disappearing, covering the ureter and it is disappearing in the iliac fossa. Ardhamaindi kada, Lokesh?
Yes.
Should I repeat or is it clear, beta?
Clear.
Yeah. Okay, so all those are the 4 layers, beta, because this is running out. I will send the link within 10 minutes again. Okay, we'll stop here.